Greetings, FeralHearters, it's Nesbael again, and this is the second part in my multi-part tutorial on how to make a FeralHeart preset. Now, before I begin, I wanted to answer a very frequently asked question, and that question is, where can you download the wolf presets? And in actuality, the wolf presets and the lion presets are the exact same thing. Now, as you can see, I've already made a preset of my character Nesbael, and she is a wolf. But if I go over here and switch to feline, you can see that it also works for a lion. So the UV maps that we're going to be working with in this video look like lions, but they can also be used for the wolves. So, now that we've got that question out of the way, let's get started. First, go ahead and open up your FeralHeart folder. Go to My Presets, Preset 9, and I'm sure you remember from the first video, we've already renamed all of these PNG images. So, in this video, I'm just going to go through and explain to you, firstly, how to make a layer, and secondly, what the areas on the UV maps turn into when they're rendered in-game. So, I'm going to go ahead and start with head right, and I use GIMP as my image editing program of choice, but you can use pretty much any program that allows you to make layers. So Paint Tool SCI and Photoshop and GIMP are all excellent ones to use. Now, to make a layer in GIMP, you're going to want to come over here to the Layers pane, and down here near the bottom there's a little button that looks like a blank sheet of paper. You're going to want to click that, and see, it makes a little pop-up here that says New Layer, and it's going to ask you what you want to name the layer. It doesn't matter what you name it. I'm just going to name mine Color for the purpose of this tutorial. Now, here's the important thing. Right here where it says Layer Fill Type, you want to make sure that that's set to transparency. That's very important. So make sure it's set to transparency. Click OK. Now if you look over here, you can see the layer that we just made named Color. And this layer here, named Background, is the one with the UV map lines on it. So, the next thing you're going to want to do is click the layer that you just made so that it's highlighted. Go back down to the bottom of the Layers pane to the little button that looks like a green arrow pointing down, and click that once. And now you can see that the layer that we just made is beneath the UV map lines. So now when we color, our colors show up underneath the lines so that we can see what we're doing. So, now that we've covered how to make a layer, I'm going to explain to you what each one of these lines represents. So, first of all, this one here is pretty obviously the head. Right here, this spot that looks like 4 triangles put together is the eye, and the area surrounding it is the rim of the eye. So the upper part and the lower part of the eye. Up here, this little triangle is where the nose is. So you want to have your nose, the top of it, meeting up with this triangle here. And then just make your nose shape. Right here is where the mouth lands. And now you can kind of see how it looks like a head. Down here is the back of the ear. So this will become the back of the ear. Up here is the inside of the ear. Now when you color this, you want to make a little rim around it that's the same color as the back of the ear. And then you just color the inside, whatever color the insides of the ears are. Over here is the mouth, or rather the inside of the mouth. You just go ahead and color that, whatever color the inside of your character's mouth is. This spot here is the tongue. So again, you're just going to want to color that, whatever color your character's tongue is. Now, another point I want to make is that going outside these outside parts of the UV map is perfectly alright. It's actually recommended because when the game renders your character, it goes outside the lines just a little bit itself. So if you don't go outside the lines, then you're going to end up with either black or white splotches when the game renders your character. So don't be afraid to go outside these outside lines a little bit. It won't hurt a thing. Okay, now we're going to show you the body. Now I've gone ahead and opened up the body PNG image, and I'm just going to give you a real quick rundown of that. This piece here makes the heel of the back leg, and this becomes the toes of the back foot. This becomes the bottom of the back foot, and you can make a paw print shape on this if you want, so that it looks like your character's paw print. This here becomes the toes of the front foot, and this becomes the bottom of the front foot. And again, you can make your paw print shape on the bottom of it. Now, this, picture it as a flat piece of paper that you're going to wrap around a tube. And once you wrap it around that tube, it will become the leg. So this whole area right here that I've just totally destroyed with stripes will become the front leg. So when you're making your markings on it, so let's say I want to make mine striped. I'm just going to color it in so you can see my stripes. You're going to want to picture it wrapping around the leg. And then when that gets rendered as the leg, those stripes will wrap around it just a bit. Okay? Now, this piece here is the exact same thing, except it's the back leg, And again, you want to picture it wrapping around when you're making your markings. It's the same idea, just picture it wrapping around. And up here, from here to here, makes the shoulders and the neck. And of course, this piece here is the torso and the belly. So, next I'm going to show you the tail. Now the tail gets a little bit tricky depending on what you're making. This is the only difference that you will ever see when you're making a lion versus when you're making a wolf. If you're making a lion, then you can just go ahead and just color this little area here, and this would be the tip of the tail here. If you're making a wolf, however, you want to go and color out to about here on either side of those image maps. And then this would be the tip of the tail. Because when the game renders it, it will wrap it around the wolf's tail. And of course, we all know a wolf tail is a lot bigger than a lion tail, so it uses more of the image. So unless you want the underneath of your wolf's tail to have weird gray, black, or white splotches, be sure that you color outside those lines quite a bit. Okay? Next, we're going to cover the eye real quick, and then that will be the end of this video. Okay, I've gone ahead and opened up the eye. And real quick, this here will become the eye itself, so you want to color that whatever color your character's eye is. Be sure you give it a pupil and some highlights, and this here will become the eyelid, so just color that whatever color the eyelid is. This little stripe here is the eyelash, so color that whatever color your eyelashes are. And of course these are the teeth. So just like on the body with the legs, you want to picture these teeth shapes wrapping around. You may want to shade between them a little bit if you want. That's all totally up to you. But that's the end of this video. Now you just have to go through and color all of your images however you want them. It's kind of a trial and error thing, so color them and look in game and see how it looks, and go back and color some more. And also, I know some of you are going to ask this, so I will say it now. In my next video, I will be covering how to remove the UV map lines, because I know some of you guys have been having troubles with that. So please stay posted for the next video, and I will tell you how to remove those so that they don't show up in game. So that's the end of this video, and stay tuned for the next one, and I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below.